Good morning to everyone. Oh my goodness, you know what? There's so exciting news I have to tell you. I forgot to mention the last episode that my book, FIA ASAP, is now out on Amazon. And as you know, it's going to be incredible. It's hitting #1 on Amazon. Again, it's FIA ASAP. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what the heck is FIA? It stands for Fixed Index Annuity ASAP. That means as soon as possible. Now, I want to go ahead and dedicate this particular session this morning. This book really is intended for those of you guys who are saving for retirement or who's getting ready to retire and who's thinking about retirement, and they're saying, well, you know what? How do I have a guaranteed income that my money will last? So traditionally, this is what's happened, right? When you go to work, most of you participate what's called the 401k, or maybe if you're a doctor or dentist and other folks, and you have an IRA, or maybe even a Roth. Here's the situation: when you start taking the money out of your current retirement account, if you leave it is where it is, you've got 3 issues that's coming. Are you ready for this? Okay, the first issue is that if the stock market makes money, great. Your retirement account can make really good money. But here's the problem. Can any of us guarantee that that investment account of yours will always grow? No, you can't. Not with the uncertainty in the marketplace, as you can see, experienced within the last couple of months. One day, all 3 accounts were down. S&P 500, the Dow Jones, you name it, the NASDAQ as well. Well, if you're retiring, you can't afford to lose money. So that's issue #1. Issue #2. When you have your 401k or whatever investment you have, and if you decide to take the money out, because after all, it is your money, right? You need that money, so you're going to start withdrawing the money. Here's the problem. Are you ready for this? Let's say, assuming you have $200,000, and you go and you take $20,000 to live off. If you keep taking $20,000 a year from the $200,000, you are going to start depleting your money. That is why so many seniors go back to work, because they have depleted their money by doing what's called a withdrawal. Now, let's say some of you say, well, I don't want to withdraw. Or some of you may say, I have plenty of money to live off. I'm not going to touch my money, in my 401k or my other retirement, because I'm going to leave it to my kids or whatever it may be. Well, here's something you need to think about, look at, okay? First of all, whatever retirement account you have, especially, the tax-deferred accounts, the IRS is coming. The government's going to say to you, no, you cannot keep that money in there. You're going to have to start doing some of the liquidation. They call it RMD, Requirement Minimum Distribution. And here's the rule. If you turn 72 or 73, you have to start taking that out, part of it. Why? Because the IRS wants his money. Now, there was some senior that I met, didn't think was a big deal. Well, I don't need the money. I'm not going to take it out. You ready for this? You don't have to take it out, but the IRS will tax you 50% penalty. Think about it. You're getting hit penalty 50%, plus with your tax bracket of 30%, you're getting hit with 80%. Imagine you have $1,000 and you're going to get hit with $800 and you get $200. Does that make any sense? And some folks don't realize RMD penalty is 50%. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. Look it up. So now you've got a dilemma with a 401k or IRA that you're sitting here and you're taking RMD out. Again, your RMD, Requirement Minimum Distribution, is a percentage that it's based on how old you are, based on how much money you have in there. The IRS said you will need to take this money out. Simple as that. And they will calculate that. If you don't have an account that has called guaranteed lifetime income, again, you will start depleting that money as well. Okay, so let me guess. If the stock market loses money, your 401k could be losing money, or your retirement account could lose money. It could be TSP, it could be 403B, 457 plan. Those are, again, it's retirement with the teachers, and you've got teachers, you've got sheriff, you've got police department, you name it. So now I've just shared with you the fact that you have to take RMD, okay? So here's another thing. You and I know for a fact that the minute we retire, we want something more of a guaranteed side, right? Because we're at the phase where you say, you know what, I want to be able to, have some kind of guaranteed income. My client always would tell me, look, I don't want to decrease the lifestyle when I was working. I was bringing in $100,000 a year. When I retire, People tell me the misconception is, oh, when I retired, I am at such a lower tax bracket because I'm no longer working. Let me share with you something. The only time that you're going to be at a low tax bracket if you're dead broke practically. When you don't have money, that's when you're at the lowest tax bracket. Is that what you want to be? That you don't have to pay as much taxes? No, you don't. What you want to do is you want to be in position to live the lifestyle that you used to. You used to travel. You make over $100,000 a year. You're able to go on vacation. You're able to buy stuff, do certain things. Believe it or not, when you retire, people think they live less. No, it's just the same because you're just now redirecting your money spending elsewhere. You're at home, you're bored to death, said, oh my gosh, I want to go on that cruise ship, I want to do something else. You got other activity you want to engage in, and those activities cost money. Unless you just sit there, wake up in the morning, just watch TV all day and go back to it. No, that's not the lifestyle I know. I'm pretty sure that you guys want. You want a quality lifestyle. So one of the things that's really, really important is that when it comes to your retirement, those are the kind of things you want to think about. You want to say, okay, you know what? If I want guarantee, what if I don't want to play the market anymore? Did you know, it's really cool, some of the things in my book, FIA ASAP, talk about that. Imagine you have an account where you could care less what the market does. It could lose for the next 10 years, and you've got a guaranteed 10% on the account growth for your lifetime income account. Did you hear what I just said? 10%. You tell me bank, CD, money market, anything can have that kind of growth for your lifetime income account. Well, guess what? This book talks about that. This book's talk about, well, how do I protect every single dollar of my investment account that I have today and make it grow without loss? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure most of you may be in position of retirement. You've got two directions. One, you're either going to use the money, or two, you said you don't need the money yet until RMD. While you don't need the money, you're in position where you said, you know what, I want that guarantee. I want to have the guarantee side, and then some of you said, no, how about this? I don't want the 10%. I want to play with the market. I want to make 10%, 12%. I want to make 20%. How about 30%? Or some of you out there, well, guess what? The FIA is being introduced because people talked about it, but I decided to put it in writing, put it in the book for the whole world to see. When people said you can't have the cake and eat it too, well, guess what? This is one of those cases where you could have the cake and eat it too. I love for a fact that being out here, being on, television and sharing you this information. Look, I know some of you guys looking out there say, Shirley, it sounds really, really too good to be true. You have to understand, this is a regulated product, regulated industry, a regulated retirement program that is regulated by the state level, okay? You can't go on and talk about something that doesn't exist, all right? Now, when I said to you the kind of rate of return that you have, depends on the company, depends on the carrier that you buy with, and depends on the fund that you invest in. Could be the NASDAQ, could be the S&P 500. And within those accounts could be any numerous things. You could be putting in Bank of America, you can put in the Patriot, you can put in S&P 500 monthly point of points. So within each of those company, those investments, you could pick choices, okay? You pick choices, different fund. Okay, maybe I'll take 25%, put in S&P 500 monthly point to point. Maybe I'll put in yearly, annual point to point. Maybe I'll put in the aristocrats. So there are hundreds and hundreds of accounts that you can pick and choose from. Past performance don't predict the future. I'm just sharing with you what the opportunities are that you can make on these accounts. So for those of folks out there that's telling you that under fixed index annuity, you can't make that kind of growth, I prove them wrong. The reason I prove them wrong is because I have past clients that has done performance that's making just as much as the market out there when you're playing with investment manager, when you're playing with the big boys. Well, guess what? This is one time where you don't have to have a lot of experience and still get to play with the big boys and make a good return on your money. And I am so confident, I'm so excited the fact that this book is out, because guess what? It hit #1 on Amazon. And it's going to be blown up. Folks out there are buying the book and learning it for the first time, said, wow, I didn't know this exists. I had client came in to see me and said, you know what? I've never heard of this until I almost retired. Then I just happened to scroll through, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or the stuff out there, the topics. Now you can hear something very interesting because there's going to be two sides to the story. You have one side that folks like me promoting thinking FIA is one of the greatest things since sliced bread. It doesn't mean that this is the only account that you have. I'm just saying you need to diversify. For those who want protection of the money, then you need to put the money in here. For those who want guaranteed income, then you need to put it in here. There's nothing wrong with you having money investment outside in the world of the investment that you play stock, mutual fund, and crypto. For those of you guys who said, you know what, I want to play with those and I could afford to lose if I have to. All I'm saying is that this is one account that it gives you the best of both worlds, where I can play as much as I want and I'll never have to lose a dime. I've always tell folks, it's kind of like me taking to a casino, play all day long, you never lose a hand. Look, the bottom line is, just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because it does exist. Millions and millions of people are going to this. And let me tell you one thing, this book is out. There'll be hundreds of millions that will play in this game. Because you know what? There are people today that has these accounts that the minute they move the money over, they said, I need lifetime income. Guess what? Within 2 weeks, 30 days, they can have the stream of income. Guaranteed. Bar none. No buts, no if, no guessing. And say, oh, can you make sure? And the contract that you get from advisor and folks that talk about fixed index annuity, if you don't believe it, take it to your attorney. Take it to your CPA. Take it to one of the trusted stuff. But let me be cautious. One thing. Remember I said there's two sides to the story? You also have the other side of other investment firms that may not like this at all. Because why? Under the fixed index annuity, sometimes it doesn't give these firms that guarantee fees, 1-2% that they always normally make from your investment. Remember, whether you make money or not, some of the investment firms do make money on your account. The fixed index annuity, some of them don't work like that, where we don't pay the fees. But you know what? On the next episode, I'm going to go into detail about, well, what's the cost, what's the fees, what's the good, what's the bad, what's the ugly. But I'm excited about it. I'm Shirley Luu. You can Google me. And if you want to reach out to me, my team and I would love to help you and give you some comparison. My number is 703-608-1203. Again, it's 703-608-1203. And remember, we rise by uplifting others.